Hi, welcome back to Zach of All Trades. I'm Zach, and today I'd like to introduce you to the newest member of our team. With things heating up around here for the YouTube channel lately, you know what, cut. Can you bring the shot up just a little bit? I don't want my double chin to show. Yeah, I think that'll do, that's better. Okay, with things heating up for the YouTube channel around here recently, I've been doing a lot of thinking about adding a member to our production team, because running a camera, whether you know it or not, running a camera is a full-time job in and of itself. And if I had someone to run a camera for me, it would free me up a lot to be able to just do stuff and hopefully put out more content for you folks. So we shopped around a little bit, and a couple of weeks ago we brought on to our team a young, energetic, high-tech guy to run a camera for me. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you. You know what, this is kind of hard to do with him running a camera. Oh, I got it. I'll just do it on my phone here. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Ramón, the drone. Say hey, little buddy. Don't cut my head off. Ah, there we go. Hey. All right, now get back to work. I'm not paying you to take breaks. Buying a drone is something that I've put off doing for a long time, mostly because the place that I lived in before, I couldn't really see the justification for it, and it would just become an expensive piece of kit that I didn't really have a good use for. But in the place that I live now, with all this room and all this beautiful scenery, there really are a bunch of projects that I want to do that would only really be served by a drone. So I really don't want to be that guy that uses a drone for every shot, but I'm telling you, there is some definite use and utility to this little guy. But as you know, if you've flown a drone, there's also a definite learning curve. So a couple of days ago, I was out flying around just for the sake of flying, and I came upon the opportunity to do some precision flying practice. So that's the footage I'm going to leave you with. And don't worry, no turkeys were harmed in the making of this video. So as I mentioned, I was just out for a pleasure flight. Just figured I'd cruise up the shore of the loch here in the Highlands, enjoy the scenery, get used to Ramón's controls a little bit, in a wide open space where I couldn't really do any harm. I didn't see them at first. I was probably distracted by the beautiful snow-capped mountains, but when I did, wait a minute, what the heck was that? Yeah, it's a bunch of turkeys. So I figured I'd seize upon the opportunity and go over here and observe said turkeys in nature, and also use this for an opportunity to hone my fine motor skills in operating Ramón. So what I want you to pay attention to here is what they did. They all, most of them anyway, ran underneath this one scraggly bush with no leaves on it. But what was cool was the fact that they actually did blend in fairly well. And they seemed to be fairly secure when they got down to 3 of them. When there was more of them, they were a little bit more scattered and couldn't quite hold it together. But when there was down to 3 of them, they just held still and they blended in pretty well. And one of the things that I've noticed that was striking to me is, you know how the Mona Lisa always seems to be looking at you, no matter what direction you're looking at it from? Well, these turkeys kind of did the same thing. Everywhere you looked, they were always on the other side of the bush. You could just barely see them moving, but they're always on the other side of the bush. I thought that was really cool. So I figured I'd try it out a few times. Go to the left and go to the right a little bit.
I'm holding on. Okay.
And they were always on the other side of the bush. Whoop. Except for then. That guy lost what he was doing.
I don't know about this.
Richard, you're hanging out again.
I don't know about this.
It's my leg.
So I figured I'd go in for a close shot just to see what they look like in all their glory, in their natural habitat. Did you know that Benjamin Franklin actually thought that the turkey was better suited as a national bird than the eagle? Something about it being of higher moral character.
I'm going.
I don't know about that, but they're both pretty cool birds. I would have to say that turkeys, probably a little bit dumber.
Okay, now
except
it's
for
in.
when it comes to
Go
hiding
the other
behind
way.
bushes.
Go the other way.
At any rate, none of them were harmed in the making of this film. Annoyed, possibly, but not harmed. So at this point, I figured I'd pretty much had my fun, pretty much honed my motor skills enough that I could leave these poor turkeys alone and get back to my originally stated mission of just going out and flying for the sake of flying. And although I was within line of sight, I was hiding off in the bushes over there, I was in line of sight, as the rules state that you must be. I still figured I'd look around a little bit just to make sure that I wasn't going to run into any trees that were unbeknownst to me, especially this close to the water. I didn't have a float on my drone, so didn't want to risk dropping it in the water. So there we go for my fun drone flight the other day. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said before, I'm going to try to use this drone judiciously and not overuse it, but I think that there's an element that I can add to the cinematography of my videos that this drone will really facilitate. So enjoy this little cruise down the shores of the loch, and we'll see you later. Take care.